Hello everyone, welcome back to Historically Gaming. I am the Fit Historian, and today we're actually going to be diving into the history of Antic. Antic is a magazine that ran from the early 1980s into the 90s that was all about everything Atari. So while we hang out here and chat, we're also going to be doing some Star Path tasks because your girl is very behind and I need to get this done sooner rather than later because I don't want to miss out on it. So let's go ahead and see what tasks we have to do, and then we'll jump into our story. So let's see here. We need to build some stuff your face with second-class meals, get some very valuable rocks, complete Dreamlight duties, spend some time with the Sorcerer's Apprentice, and impress a wizard with something he loves. All sounds easy enough, so let's go ahead and we'll run over and grab Mickey real quick, and we will go ahead and get started. So let's see, he's probably at home down in the glade because that's where I have his house right now. So we'll go ahead and run down there, and while we do so, let's get started with our story. So now, if you don't know, Atari is a big name in video games and the at-home computer worlds. They themselves have a very intriguing history that we will definitely be covering at some point, because let me tell you, it is a roller coaster of a journey, and you really can't talk about video game history without touching on Atari. During Atari's prime, they had so much influence that there were actually enthusiast groups and clubs that were popping up, just solely dedicated to Atari products. So a magazine dedicated to Atari was honestly just the next step. At least that's what NASA programmer Jim Caparel had thought. Alright, let's see. Dreamlight duties, harvest 3 lemons. Yeah, we can do that. Maybe we'll mine some of those rock spots in the Frosted Heights in a little bit, but let's go get some lemons. Anyway, back to our story. In the beginning of 1980s, Jim Caparel wrote to Atari asking for a research grant for some experimental biofeedback research he wanted to do for NASA. He wanted to use an Atari computer because at the time it was honestly the best for what he wanted to do. So in response to his request, Atari actually sent over an Atari 800 computer for Caparel to use for his research, which was a huge deal because those computers at the time were incredibly expensive and not just anyone can afford to get one of those computers. So this was a huge deal. And after that moment, Caparel's interest in all things Atari grew, and he even joined one of the very first Atari user groups, so one of those enthusiast groups that I had mentioned earlier. Alright, so we went ahead and built some stuff. Let me go ahead and make some fencing here, because I need these for another project, so we might as well make it while we're here. Okay, let's see. Alright. Alright, let's go ahead and do some cooking. I believe Merlin wanted some crackers, so we're gonna go ahead and make some crackers. I don't have any room. Give me a second, let me fix this. Alright, let's make some crackers. Boom, now we have crackers. Alright, now let's go see if we can find some blue hydrangeas. He always wants blue hydrangeas. I don't know why. There's plenty of other blue flowers, but this is the one he always wants. Alright, where is he at? Where is he at? Let's see. Alright, looks like he's getting some lunch, so let's go ahead and head on over there and we'll give him his little gifts. And while we do that, we'll get back to our story. Sorry, I keep getting distracted. But anyway, like many tech startup stories, Antics began with some humble beginnings. While it did not start in someone's garage or in a college dorm room, it did begin in Jim Caporel's San Francisco apartment at his kitchen table. As the story goes, on January 15th, 1982, the same day that Caporel left NASA, Caporel asked Marnie Tapscott, one of his friends, if she wanted to start a magazine with him. Tapscott agreed and actually became the co-founder of Antic as well as the director of art of Antic Publishing. Okay, crackers. Let's go ahead and make that lobster roll while we're here. Might as well do it. Let's see here. Go ahead and pull up our recipes. What do we need for a lobster roll? I don't make it very often, so I don't really know what it needs. Okay. Lobster roll. Alright, I need butter and lemons. Cool. So let's go ahead and grab some butter. I gotta go run and get some lemons. I'll be right back. Alright, we're back. Alright, let's go ahead and make this lobster roll and we'll give it to Murmur. Lobster roll, lobster roll. There it is, lobster roll. Perfect. Let's go ahead and give it to him. Here he is. Alright, I've got your order. Give. Hello? Why? Alright, well, sorry about that. Technical difficulties. Had to restart my game. For some reason, that screen wouldn't go away. So let's go ahead and get back into this. Go ahead and collect these Dreamlight duties. And let's see where Mickey's at so we can grab him and we'll finish that task as well. Alright, so how did they come up with the name Antic? Well, Tapscott suggested, while they were sitting at the kitchen table, that they go with a computer-related name, since the magazine is dedicated to computers. And while they were tossing around name ideas, Caporel came up with the name Antic, which is actually an acronym for Alphanumeric Television Integrated Circuit. And why this name is significant is because Antic was an 8-bit special chip that Atari actually used. So again, we're tying back to the Atari theme with an Atari magazine. Might as well have an Atari-related name. Antic actually had a bit of a rough start in the beginning. The very first issue, which I will go ahead and link below if you'd like to check it out, was debuted at the West Coast Computer Fair in San Francisco in March of 1982. Caporel actually decided to bring 1,500 copies of his magazine to the computer fair with him. Now I want you guys to go ahead and guess how many of these copies he actually sold. Go ahead, drop your predictions in the comments. I'd love to see if anyone can actually guess it correctly right away. So they actually sold only 300 copies. Wait, you might be asking, the historian, what do you mean only 300? That's like 20% of the stock. That's not too bad for his first attempt of trying to sell a brand new magazine, especially in such a niche network. And I'd be inclined to agree with you, except those 1,500 copies that he brought with him were not the only copies that Caporel had. He actually had a total of 13,000 copies of the first issue printed. So because of this, he now had 12,700 copies that he still needed to sell that were just sitting piled up in his apartment. Luckily though, according to Les Torek, one of the members of the original Antic team, the first issue finally sold after about 6 months. And by that time, it actually started to become a collector's item. And within that 6-month period, Antic's popularity actually skyrocketed, and they had released 4 issues of their magazine by this point. Now, despite the fall of Atari and its later resurrection in 1985, Antic continued to grow, and by 1986 they sold an astounding 3.5 million copies. Each issue of the magazine included news, tutorials, letters, and even software that you could type in your computer. Antic even had floppy disks that were either mailed with the magazines or were available for purchase separately. And if you're younger and you don't know what a floppy disk looks like, it looks like the save icon on a Word document. I'll go ahead and put a picture up here on the screen for you just for reference. But anyway, in the first issue on Antic, Caporell wrote an editorial note stating that at Antic, we are dedicated Atari enthusiasts who have been involved with the 800 and 400 since it came on the market back in 1979. We now think it's time Atari users had their own dedicated publication, a resource which can be turned to for help and up-to-date information. And it honestly did just that. Antic continued to be published until about 1990, with a total of 88 issues being published over its 8-year run. Now, thanks to the work of Antic fans, you can actually still read these magazines online via the Internet Archive, where you can actually view color PDF scans of the different issues. They're amazing documents to read, and they really take you back in time. I will also link the archive down below so you guys can go check out all of the different issues of Antic released during their 8-year run. And we're definitely going to return to Antic from time to time to talk about some aspects of Atari and video game history, but I really wanted to take a minute and highlight the magazine itself because it was a really cool resource that provides a look inside the enthusiast side of computer video game history. And to finish up here, I've gone ahead and did some tasks off camera to save us some time, and I think I'm just going to go ahead and collect the rewards from the Star Path quests that we've completed and see if we can't come up with something cool like an outfit or something. Alright, now let's see if we can't come up with something cool here. I really like this makeup, so I think we're just gonna roll with this and see what kind of outfit we can come up with to go with this. Alright guys, we're just about finished here. We went ahead and created an outfit surrounding this makeup look. I decided to go with like a creepy clown circus ringleader type of outfit. I mean, it's the Halloween Star Path, so who can blame me for going with the spooky vibes, right? But anyway, so that's honestly gonna do it for today, guys. Please let me down in the comments your thoughts on today's topic. Have you ever heard of Antic? Are you an Atari fan? Have you ever heard of a floppy disk before today? I would greatly appreciate if you could go ahead and hit that like button too to let me know that you like this video. And if you haven't already done so, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so that you can be notified of every time that I post. Thanks guys for hanging out with me, and I hope you have a historic day. Bye!